It began on a night so quiet that even the crickets refused to sing. 14-year-old Leora stood on her rooftop, watching the sky shimmer with an unusual, ethereal silver light. At first, she thought it was snow-soft, glowing flakes drifting lazily toward the earth, but this was different. Snow doesn't flicker with an inner pulse. Snow doesn't whisper secrets on the wind. And snow definitely doesn't fall burning hot and freezing cold at the very same time. One of the shimmering lights veered off course, landing beside her on the shingles with a soft, cushioned thud. Liara flinched, her heart hammering against her ribs. It wasn't a star, not a meteor fragment. It was a child. A little boy, no older than 7, his skin as pale as moonlight, his hair shimmering with what looked like actual stardust. His eyes were the most incredible thing she had ever seen. They were galaxies, vast, swirling, and endless pools of light and shadow. He looked up at her, his expression a mixture of fear and wonder. "The sky sent us away," he whispered, his voice like the chime of distant bells. Liara stumbled back, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. What? What do you mean?" She managed to stammer out. Before the boy could answer, the single light became hundreds, then thousands, raining down across the hills, the rooftops, and the riverbanks of her small town. Each point of light dissolved upon landing, transforming into a child boys and girls of every age, all glowing faintly, blinking in the sudden, strange darkness of earth. Below her, Leora's town erupted into chaos. Doors burst open, shouts echoed through the streets as people rushed outside, pointing and yelling. But the Star Children didn't run, they didn't scatter. Instead, they gathered. In the town square, in the fields, on the bridges, they found each other and held hands. They lifted their faces to the sky, their luminous forms like a flock of abandoned birds, waiting for a call that would never come. The boy beside Leora spoke again, his voice trembling now. "We were told to shine forever. Never rest, never sleep, never dream." A tear, like a drop of liquid silver, slid down his cheek and evaporated before it touched his skin. But stars who dream fall. Leora's breath caught in her throat. The beautiful, impossible truth of it settled over her. "So you fell because you dreamed?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. He nodded, his galactic eyes fixed on her. "We wanted to feel things. We wanted to know what cold was like, and rain, and the feeling of soil beneath our feet. We wanted freedom." Just then, a low, menacing hum vibrated across the sky. It was an angry sound, metallic and ancient. Leora looked up and saw the stars themselves twisting into unfamiliar shapes, contorting into circular patterns that looked like colossal, watchful eyes. The boy grabbed Leora's hand, his touch surprisingly warm and almost weightless. "They're coming for us," he whispered, his small body tense with fear. "Who?" Leora asked, her own fear rising to match his. "The ones who keep the sky," he said. "The ones who command the light." The air grew thin and cold, and the ground beneath her feet began to tremble. The Star Children huddled closer together as piercing beams of white light shot down from the heavens, sweeping across the landscape like searchlights, searching, scanning, hunting. Instinct took over. Leora pulled the boy off the roof and dragged him through her bedroom window, slamming it shut just as the walls of her house shook violently, as if something enormous and unseen had passed directly overhead. Inside, panting in the sudden quiet of her room, she looked at the boy. "Why me?" she asked, her voice shaking. "Of all the people, why did you come to me?" The boy looked around her room, at her posters of constellations and her well-worn telescope by the window. "Because you were the first human to look at the night sky with hope instead of fear," he said softly. "Stars see everything." Suddenly, a thunderous crack split the sky wide open. It wasn't lightning, it was a rupture in reality itself. A massive, swirling vortex of darkness and angry energy formed directly above the town. pulling at everything with an incredible gravitational force. Roof tiles peeled away, trees bent to their breaking point, and the star children outside screamed silently, their voices seemingly absorbed by the void. They were being lifted, pulled back toward the terrifying, sleepless sky they had escaped. The boy clung to Leora, his glow flickering like a dying candle. "Don't let them take me back," he pleaded, his voice cracking with desperation. "I don't want to shine forever. I want to live." Leora wrapped her arms around him, holding him tighter than she had ever held anything. "Then stay," she said, her voice firm with a sudden fierce protectiveness. "Stay here with me." His glow brightened for a moment, a final brilliant burst of starlight. "If I stay, I will become human," he said, his voice laced with both terror and yearning. "I will lose my light." Leora looked into his swirling cosmic eyes. "That's okay," she whispered, a tear of her own tracing a path down her cheek. "You won't lose it. You'll just carry it differently." For a heart-stopping moment, the vortex seemed to hesitate, as if considering her words. Then a blinding flash of pure white light filled the room, the town, the world, and then absolute silence. When Leora dared to open her eyes, the vortex was gone. The sky was calm and speckled with its familiar, unmoving stars. The world was still. She looked around frantically. The star children had vanished, all except one. Sitting on her floor was a small boy with ordinary brown eyes, dusty feet, and a thoroughly confused expression on his face. He was no longer glowing. He was no longer made of stardust. He was human now. He was alive. He looked up at her, and a slow, hesitant smile spread across his face. A real human smile. "You kept me," he said, his voice normal, no longer like chimes. Leora smiled back, relief and a strange, powerful joy washing over her. And though the sky was utterly quiet now, she could have sworn, just for a second. It winked,